Hi everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Academy. My name is Warren Bennett. Thank you very much for joining me. We've got a beautiful summer's afternoon here at Chesfield, so I'm going to take advantage of it and do a video outside for you. This is all going to be about creating more lag, having more compression, especially into your iron shots. But this is going to be the same for no matter what club you're hitting. So what we've heard the concept of maybe from the top of the backswing, you might have heard of getting this pulling down. Now that's right in some ways. You obviously want this club face to be coming down. You never want this club to go out. But I'm going to show you a drill that's really going to improve that. So if you've got a fault of coming over the top or early extension, this is going to be a great one for you, because what I see a lot of people doing, if they're trying to pull down, what's going to happen is their right elbow is going to be stuck behind their body. So the more you pull this club, the more you pull this hand straight down here, the more this right elbow is going to be behind your hip. Now if your right elbow is behind your hip at speed, what's going to happen is the club's going to get thrown out, you won't be able to stop it, and there's your early extension. So trying to create a downswing by pulling your hands down can get your elbow stuck and the club will pass and you'll be flipping it. But you need to change the way you release this club into the ball. Now if your hands and club are used to be throwing outside the line, this is a great one. If you're an early extender, so basically early extension is the club catching up with your hands when you get to impact. This can change it for you. So let me show you. So I've got an 8 iron here, and don't do it any more than an 8 iron or a 7 iron. So we're not going to hit this in one motion. You're going to basically stop halfway down. So what I'm going to do here is show you a bit of an exaggerated version. So what I've got here is my elbow is right in front of my hip and my pocket. So I haven't gone too early with my bottom half. I've really thrust the hands and club and elbow out in front of me. The club head is behind my hands. Then from here we're going to do a couple of little pumps and we're going to learn to bring this club back to the ball and hit the ball from there. Now if you're not used to that position, and obviously if you're not used to swinging it down through this position here, so remember, hands are out, club behind you. In slow motion, what I'm doing here is re-rotating my hands back inside. So the club's coming from the inside, but my hands aren't going away from me and losing the club head and losing the compression. To keep the compression on here, what I'm doing, if I open my sleeve, is I'm rotating my hand back into inside. So my hand is going left and the club is coming out towards the ball and I'm keeping ahead of it. So if you're suffering from big hooks or lack of compression, lack of distance, try this exercise. So top of the backswing, hands go out, club stays behind, but elbow in and touching. So it's inside and touching, so it's not behind my right pocket there. Couple little pumps, nothing too big. There's your consistency. So what I'm doing, a little recap, is bringing my hands, they're not going straight out there. I'm coming from the inside, but my hands are going tight. I'm creating this kind of connection, and my hands aren't going away from me and losing this connection and losing the strike. I'm bringing my hands inside, everything's tight in a good way, and creating that look at impact. I'm not letting this club pass me and flick it. So you just keep hitting as many of these as possible. Learn to hit the ball from this position. Bring this club back into the ball, and then you can pivot through the ball and hold it on. So out in front of me, just keep hitting half shots like that. So nice and slow. I'm going to exaggerate this one for you, nice and slow. So you can see I'm bringing my hands back and doing this type of look instead of this type of look. You can definitely hit it further without actually trying to hit it any harder. Hands out, club behind me, a couple of little pumps for momentum, bit of a longer follow through that time. Takes away any side spin, this, because what you're doing, you're creating connection with your hands and arms, bringing the club in and everything close to you on the follow through. So you're basically, if you pivot, you've got hold of the club face now. Club face isn't independent of you. If I had my elbow behind me, my club is now independent of my pivot. Now it's the opposite. Now my pivot, because I'm bringing my hands back into my body from this shallow position, now I've got hold of this club face by pivoting around. So what's basically happening is my club, especially in this drill, because it's not going as quick as a normal, is my pivot is going the same speed as the club head. Or the other way around, club head's going the same speed as the pivot. Right, and then you can learn from this shallow position to hit one. I'm going to slow it down and never be as much as that, as the drill, because it never is. The drill is always a little bit of an exaggeration. That's what you need. Out, in. That's where connection should happen. Big pivot, but you've got hold of the club face. Club face is connected on the way through, so there's no overtaking of your hands and flicking. Back to the drill, very slow. If you're really struggling to get this club back to the ball, do a few practice swings. Remember, I'm not turning just now. I'm bringing this hands, I'm re-rotating my hands back into impact, but because the club's behind my hands now, my hands stay behind, but they're staying behind my hands, but I've got connection. They're not getting thrown out in front of me. One more, little practice swing, little pumps. So it's a release into impact, but plus I'm pivoting at the same time. Right, and then we go to a full swing, and you can bounce in between those three actions. One drill, one really slow, and then one full. If you're suffering from any sort of early extension, lack of distance, which you think you could create more without trying to hit it harder, this is the exercise for you. Be patient, maybe stick it on a tee if you're struggling to make contact. If you're struggling to make contact from this shallow position, that proves that you need to practice getting this club back into the ball from this shallow position. That's a good thing, because if you can't hit it from this shallow position, proves that you need to work on it a little bit more. So golf is all about, remember, creating natural speed and natural connection. You can't try and keep your hands ahead of the ball. It happens because of the transition. Your hands are going out, elbow because of that stays in front of you, club is behind, and then from there release and pivot, take over and bring the club back into the body. Great exercise. Try it next time you go to the driving range. It's a great starter. You don't even need to hit balls, you can just do practice swings. Absolutely gold. And then work into hitting balls like that, and that's the same with every club, by the way. Don't change your golf swing with different clubs, but you'll really feel the benefit with an iron, because obviously an iron is going to get down into the ground and you'll really feel that compression. Okay, so I hope that helps. From a very sunny Chesterfield, I'll hope to see you on the next one. Thanks very much for all your support, and cheerio from myself and Trev, who's asleep in the buggy over there behind you. We'll see you on the next one. Cheerio.